Monday, and basically all of the online Cyber Monday sales that we've been ripping extended. So I was just making a video for you guys. Found a ton of profit. So there's no excuses to not be finding some profit today. And then if you guys are also watching on the replay, or you're tuned in early, we've got the SellerAmp Black Friday sale ending tonight. So if you guys want to lock in the low pricing, save 25% compared to like the normal monthly, and it's the only sale that we'll do all year for SellerAmp. So make sure you check that out. It's in the description, all that good stuff. And yeah, excited to hang out with you guys here for a little bit.
My bad. No, yeah, that was me. Cool. All right, sweet. Let's get it here. Cool. Okay, so Warner, let's break down what is the so what's the blueprint for the rest of the year? So today's December 3rd, right? What are the best practices here? You had a good tweet about this the other day. So what are the best practices here moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, right now it's should be peak in demand on a lot of y'all's products right now. It won't be quite at peak until December 10 to 15. So right now, fantastic time to check anything you're already selling and see if you can raise prices. You're expected to sell out in the next week or two. You don't want to sell out in the next week or two. You want to sell out in the peak of the season, like December 15th or so, like right there, right? You'll be able to make a ton more profit if you can do that. And then also, if you're buying literally anything, make sure that it is something you can FBM. So most things are going to be FBM friendly. I was checking in some stats, and there's actually more products that are pretty arbitrage friendly that are FBM buy box right now than FBA, and we're just getting started. So there's lots of FBM opportunity as well. So anything you're sourcing, make sure you FBM it, and then also think about how much money you can make repricing your inventory right now. No lower end prices right now, fumbling before the goal line. Make sure you're squeezing the wealth, and then as we get closer to the end of like the holiday season, then you can start to think about lower end prices, making those sales while demand is high.
So I shouldn't lower the price on my Christmas items yet. Scared I'll run out of time. I mean, you'll be able to see pretty clearly if you take a look at the Keepa on the items, you know, if it's most likely that it's going to go up in price or most likely it's going to go down in price with how the competition's behaving on that. But no, I mean, yeah, like most items, like Warner was saying, like the best days of the year between December 10th and 15th. So the cool thing is, you know, some of you guys, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage, doing pickup orders, for example, like we recommend, you haven't even gotten your best, most profitable inventory in stock yet. For example, so now we're still very early, especially in the context of FBM, how everyone watching can go ahead and do retail arbitrage and get stuff listed right away, go back to the store the next day, restock it, for example. So now, yeah, not at all, man, not at all, right? So
yeah, that is a good question.
For sure.
Yeah, just like
right? You don't know till you've seen it completely.
Yeah. If you're trying to figure out, just like looking at the raw data of it, see if the seller count is already decreasing on your item or if the sales rank is lower than it was last year this time. Those are two great telltale signs that the price is going to keep spiking up. Maybe you look at it and the seller count's way higher, it sells slower than it did last Christmas, then yeah, maybe think about making the sale a little bit sooner than something that kind of has a reason to spike soon.
Yep. Do you guys ever ship heavy items? What's the heaviest item you sold? I've sold a 148.5 pound pool back in the day.
Yeah, I think the pools are the heaviest stuff I've done too.
Yeah, the vast majority of stuff though is like sub $2. Like shoes really being some of the most heaviest I've done, at least in terms like a good portion of sales there.
Oh yeah. What up, world? What up, Geos? How you guys doing?
New here. Yeah, Geos. So basically, for anyone who's new here, right? So we have Fields of Profit, Flips or Miles, right? We're on the SellerAmp channel as well. And we're here to answer any questions you guys have about building and scaling a profitable reselling business on Amazon, right? And it's the best time to do so. Even if you feel like you don't have much time left in the year, you have like 3 weeks of the market being the highest it is all year. And if you start now, that's going to set you up as much as possible to be fully prepared for next year. More importantly, because then you'll be ready to rock and roll and have gone through a little bit of the super easy time, for example, here too. Here we go. When buying shipping for an order, do I put in the weight and size of just the product or the product plus the box? Product plus the box, although the box, I've never weighed a box in my entire life, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of naturally throw the whole thing on the scale, yeah.
Yeah.
Your box probably weighs a couple ounces kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you make use of the sale if you've already got? Yeah, Filipina. So all of you guys, if you're already using SellerAmp, if you're on any of the monthly plans, or if you're annual and you want to get a nice discount locked in, you'll go to the description or the link that's in the description and in chat. And that SellerAmp Black Friday sale ends today. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Yep. And that's the only SellerAmp sale we run all year as well. So actually, you'll like this one. I had to undead stock. This is a fresh a fresh one right here. Brett straight took the tags off right before the stream, right there. So we undead stocked the. We took it from new to like new.
Oh yeah.
It's conditioned if it were to be on the aftermarket. Yeah. Did you get the jawline from Amazon, or is that merchant fulfilled? Yeah, merchant fulfilled. Everything merchant fulfilled. Yeah, everything merchant fulfilled. Yeah.
You get that on Prime, right?
Here we go. This is a good one from Steven here. What product would you absolutely stay away from? So what products suck to sell on Amazon? What products suck to sell on Amazon?
I mean, like the obvious ones that stick out to me is like very heavy liquids. I don't usually mess with, Steven, though. They'll break open, they can get hard to ship, that kind of thing. There's also like the kind of the more account health related ones. So if it says like generic brand, that's kind of against Amazon's policy to sell those. If I see the brand on the listing a lot, if Amazon is the only seller on it and they're like basically the only seller, even if you don't get an account health issue, you probably won't be able to make the sales. So there's a few things to look out for, Steven. But the main thing is like if you're asking that, try to buy as many things as possible, 5 or 10 units at a time, see how it goes, and that'll be the best way to just kind of learn by doing.
Yeah, and then in terms of like hard data, it would be like super high sales rank stuff, right? It's terrible. Stuff that shows no offer count movement on the bottom chart, terrible. Stuff where Amazon's on it and Amazon's hogging the whole buy box. You check the SellerAmp buy box analysis and Amazon's getting 100% of it. Probably want to avoid that too. Offer count shooting up, price shooting down. Those are like the main red flags in terms of like data perspective too. Where do you see this industry in 5 years? Yeah, so this is interesting because now Warner and I, pretty much after this year, we've had context on the space for 5 or 6 years, for example, online arbitrage for almost 4 specifically. And it ebbs and flows in terms of like natural market timing, and that like sometimes Amazon will make a new rule and then they might have overcorrected a little bit. In 2021, you could do whatever you wanted. In 2019, you could do basically nothing in terms of online arbitrage. Right there. But the key and what we recommend is don't just think of yourself as an Amazon seller. Think of yourself as an entrepreneur. We're ever evolving organisms, acquiring new skills, building new relationships, chasing new opportunities, right? So we have no idea specifically what's going to happen in the space over the next 5 years. I think people will buy more stuff on the internet they did a couple years ago. So in terms of like natural market trends, that's bullish, but I'm way more bullish on building good individual skills for myself and, for you guys, for example, and that's gonna positively benefit you regardless of what happens specifically with the Amazon industry.
Yeah, that's important on any business you're starting, right? Like don't start something expecting it to be the only thing you do for the next 50 years, right? Like it's all about building the skill set and kind of leveling up, that kind of thing too, right? But the main thing to think about is like I kind of preface with this because if you're asking that, you might be thinking like, I don't want to start because it might not be as profitable in 5 years or something like that, right? Like who are you more ahead if you spend the next year working the same job doing what you're doing? Or are you further ahead if you spend the year selling on Amazon, meeting other smart entrepreneurs, figuring out, kind of what other people are up to. And then let's say, worst case scenario happens. All right. You still know too many people, you have too many business connections. You've been making money for too long now. And it just becomes easier for everything moving forward.
Hey guys, after looking at the buy box analysis on SellerAmp, very underrated feature, I noticed the product was suppressed 2 weeks ago, but currently has 12 FBA sellers. Would this be a good buy? Okay, cool. So an item being suppressed basically means no buy box. No buy box isn't necessarily a deal maker. Some people automatically avoid stuff that has no buy box. That's flawed logic. In my opinion, people still buy stuff without a buy box all the time. For example, yes, if the offer count shows good movement, aka that it's selling, and no, if the offer count is very, very blocky, indicating really no sales. Yeah.
Yep. Congrats on the engage. Appreciate you, BWC. Yep. It's a fun week for sure.
All right, here we go. I got a good example. I'm gonna hit the screen share and show you guys right here. Hit the screen share real quick. This is a great question from Stank Hollywood in respect to a good thing sourcing wise here. So here we go. All right, so let's take a look. So if we go here. Oops. All right. Boom. Appreciate you, family. So here we go. So we can go here. I'll type in actually a banger OA product right now, for example. Let's see. So let's see. It's this 4-pack right here. Okay. So let's see. So I want to see, okay, has this product been a replen for other sellers, for example, right here? So what I'm going to do to get that is, let's see, my Chrome's tripping a little bit right here. Let's see. All right. Here we go. All right, well, we got a little, okay, SellerAmp does not want to pop up facility. Let's see if it'll pop up when I type it in back here. Let's see. All right, boom, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see how long have the people been on it that originally are currently selling this, for example. So if I go here, right, I can go down here on Keepa and hit data and then offers, for example, here, and I can see there's people that have been on this since Warner was in high school, right? And since I was in high school, or close to when I was in high school, right? So it's like, okay, one, are these great people to storefront stock? Probably, right? And are these people knowledgeable Amazon sellers that probably know that this item's, done pretty well from them if they were originally seen on it 74 months ago? Probably, right? So that's pretty much the method right there. So that's a really good way to find people to storefront stock and just to validate that an item's been a long-term read plan for people. You don't necessarily need to see that, but it definitely doesn't hurt. And that's a good sign if you can see on that listing folks who originally got on that thing years ago, for example, because that's a good sign right there.
Oh yeah. Does Amazon accept invoices from itself to get Ungated? Surprisingly, yes, they do. Yeah. They actually updated the wording, I guess probably a little over a year ago at this point. But yeah, it specifically says if you're using Amazon invoices, make sure you buy 50 units is how they do it. But yeah, you can definitely use those.
Yeah, so yeah, if you like to ask if anywhere works, all those big sites work, man. Yeah, anywhere you recognize is going to work in terms of ungating right there. Okay, I keep getting closed response on my cold invoice trying to ungate. I get a response within 10 minutes of new application. What do I do? So you have a couple choices. So you can use a different ASIN, or you can change up the file a lot and change up the file name, for example, and that's going to work. And if you're getting auto decline, which it sounds like you're kind of approaching getting auto declined, have ChatGPT write a little message that says I'm trying to ungate on Amazon and they're auto declining me. Write a polite response that lays out I'm submitting exactly what they want. For example, that's been very, very successful.
Yeah, right. Shelby, rename the file and attach anything new you can, a picture of the item, tracking, all that good stuff. Yeah, I use 16%, Jacob.
Yeah, you're also getting rewards on that too. Unfortunately, they had the big body Ben's Kohl's Cash on for the past couple of days that ended yesterday. They gave these little sneaky extra discounts for a couple of days, and then turn it off again. But yeah, no, we're still chilling. Prices are going to the moon on stuff, so you can pay a little bit higher here.
Have you guys ever gotten a Section 3 or been suspended from selling? Not personally. Or I've had an account shut down for a couple weeks, clear it all up, that kind of thing. Basically, everyone we know that's had a suspension or Section 3 violation, as long as you are doing everything by the book and buying from big retailers, big distributors, they're just trying to weed out people that are buying the fake slides on Alibaba and that kind of thing, right? As long as you're buying stuff that's by the book, you can always go ahead and appeal that. And it's honestly it's a good thing that they rolled a lot of those out, because we talk about this pretty often. But a couple Christmases ago, there was not the Section 3 or any of those reviews, and a bunch of the listings got flooded with fakes, and basically legit sellers just couldn't compete because it was a bunch of just fake stuff. So yeah, you want that to be a thing, but it is something to deal with if it pops up.
Shout out to Lorenzo here. Hey, I'm starting FBA. Can you give me some sourcing tips? Yeah, so that's really the biggest thing is, can you find profitable products or not, right? What we need you to understand, though, is that you don't find items profitable, you make items profitable, right? So very rarely, now sometimes, but very rarely will an item just be hanging out for 13 on Walmart that sells for 30 on Amazon that's beautifully profitable, right? Typically, it'll be an item sells for 28 on Amazon, it's for 15 on the retailer, which is not quite there. It's probably about break even, right? But there's a 20% coupon and the retailer lets you use a sales tax permit. So now the buy cost ends up being more 11, which is a nice profitable SKU, for example, right? So you got to use all the different discounts that exist for these different retailers. So for example, a website I've been doing a lot of good work on, right? Right now, they have big markdowns. It's about 60% off most things. And there's a 10% code that works. And there's big discounted gift cards that work too, right? So that's how I'm creating and manufacturing that profit margin, right? Now, another thing a lot of beginners do that I don't think makes sense to do is they go to random retailers and then look through the clearance sections, right? What makes a lot more sense is watch some of Warner's videos, watch some of my videos, watch some of the SellerAmp channel's videos, and pick out those winning products we find and storefront stock, aka look inside the storefronts of those other sellers to find vetted profitable leads from there. For example, that, and then be present and exist in the Amazon seller community, and ideally find cool sellers to work with. The nice thing is that's completely free, right? And everything. So that's another big thing. And that when Warren and I made friends with each other, and then other cool Amazon sellers, for example, our growth got so much easier and a hell of a lot more fun. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Deal Hunter's asking a good question. Figure out which variation sells more than the other on Keepa. Yeah, we can. Let me show you a quick
Cool.
demo.
Yeah, this is
on
very,
that.
very important too. Yeah, because this is one of the most under. Those are profitable, by the way, too. If there's any variations, just while we're here as well. They're like the V-necks for.
Yeah, I was digging on these a little bit, right? So on SellerAmp, you can always check the variations tab. It shows you like the percent of reviews. It's gonna like pull that data. What I've been using more recently though is that we added this monthly sold chart in the middle, and this middle monthly sold chart is actually tied specifically to that variation. So if you see like on this like 500 sales a month, that's all to this. It's probably like it's probably like the black large. Makes sense to be the fastest selling variation. That also shows it's way more than 500 sales a month because this size alone is 500 monthly sold. And then you can also look down here on the variations reviews, and that's roughly going to correlate to how fast it's selling. But you can see sometimes there's not quite enough data to like really, there's only 10 reviews recently, basically. So it could be kind of an outlier kind of thing. This is way more reliable for figuring out variations, though, basically like that middle monthly sold chart. And then also look at the new offer count. So you can see like on this is going up pretty quick. It's also dropped really quick. So like, let me see. From the 27th, there was 83 sellers on it, and then 2 days later, like 15 people had sold out. Basically, that's another massive indicator that this listing is definitely moving. And if you look at like a slower selling variation, like I bet like the small will be not quite as good. Or is that what we were already on? Let me see, like Excel. Let's see. Yeah, so like this, for example. Yeah, so you can see the XL a little bit slower than that one we were starting at. You can see this is like 100 sales a month on this specific variation. So definitely just take advantage of that middle chart there, and you'll be in good shape.
That's a very good point too. What's the 1 to 2 rule you mentioned in an old video? Yeah, so the 1 to 2 rule is basically, it's not like completely foolproof, but typically for an item to be profitable after all the shipping fees, etc., you need to buy it for half of what you can sell it for or less. Right. So like 15 to 30, 20 into 40, ideally lower, for example, but that's the typical cost of goods. Yeah. That'll be nice and profitable right there.
You can go a little under that at higher price points too. For 90, a lot of times like 155, 160 will be 30 ROI.
Yep. And that's why using SellerAmp is so important. So you don't have to calculate the fees yourself. You let SellerAmp do the heavy lifting. Right there too. I just joined both YouTube channels. I'd like to know if there's a video on channels explaining how to use both SellerAmp and Boxem in a slower pace. Absolutely. So if you search Boxem on YouTube or SellerAmp on YouTube, you'll find both of our beautiful faces with fancy. Probably I'm probably going like right thumbnail right there. Did you
just hit the thumbnail face on live stream?
Never. That's first before.
That might be a first.
Never before seen. Yeah, literally never before seen right there. Yeah.
We'll get a little thumbnail photo shoot going.
Yeah, that's like low-key not a bad way to do it. Does SellerAmp track other costs like tape, boxes, polymailers? And for someone who's never used Google Sheets, how do you recommend learning how to use it? Yeah, so SellerAmp's going to take that into account because we just recommend adding that into your shipping cost, your inbound shipping cost, or your FBM cost, right there. And then for someone who's never used Google Sheets, how do you recommend using it? That's the only thing that was helpful that I learned in college. There's definitely some good YouTube tutorials on that. I would just recommend search like Google Sheets 101, how to use Google Sheets, something like that on YouTube. Spend 30 minutes, watch them at 2x speed or something like that, and you'll be caught up speed pretty quick. That's one of the most helpful things you can do that's going to translate into lots of different avenues of business your whole life.
Yeah, like for example, if you're trying to figure out how to use it, like this is a spreadsheet you need to be making on the fly. So like you can link your SellerAmp with whatever Google Sheet you want. So like a holiday, or I like making one for products that are like almost good when I looked at it. Maybe you mark like what sale you needed, kind of where you found it, that kind of thing. And it's super useful when either the sale you were looking at just wasn't quite good enough, or you want to come back later when you're just kind of running low on product ideas and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that product was like kind of almost good. Let me look at some similar opportunity. Oh, if there's a sale on it now that wasn't there when I was looking at it originally. So it's a really good way to like not waste any effort for like holidays and stuff that just wasn't quite good when you were looking at it.
Yep. Should I make sure I'm profitable for the current 30 or 90 day to prepare for worst case scenario? Just honestly at this point, man, just focus on the past like week or two. Because there's so many good temporary markets right now. And especially because, right now is a lot of FBM. In January, though, it'll be a lot of FBA, and you got to make sure you're largely profitable for at least the 30-day view. Yeah.
that is a good thought though. If you're looking at something like, I try to have a 25 ROI at the 90 average if you're trying to get like really technical with it. Super
A
cool
very
guy.
good
But
way to think
right
about
now it's kind of arbitrary right now because prices on everything are going up basically.
ChatGPT helps me daily with my Google Sheets and edits them. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fire.
dude,
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't even
fire.
think of that, but I can't believe it can edit the Google Sheets. That's incredible, man. Yeah. Don't
I've
be
definitely
sleeping
had
on
it
that.
give me some formulas and stuff like that.
Oh, formulas.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because you can say like, hey, I want a formula that compares this to this, and it's in column
Mhm.
here, and it's just like, there you go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So much harder in Q4 for me at least.
Interesting.
What's harder?
Yeah.
What do you-
Shouldn't be. Yeah. There's way more customers and way more sales. So
Yeah.
I mean, both sides of the business get easier. But let us know if there's anything specific we can help you out with.
Do you guys find success buying things overseas from Canada to US and vice versa? Some people do a lot of that. I just don't like getting kind of like the government involved, like complications, tariffs. I'm not really educated on in there. I don't know if that's kind of the thing for that, but like I haven't done any of that. I was on Zoom a couple years ago with the dude who was crushing and importing from Europe, for example. But yeah, not super familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I've imported some stuff from Australia, but there's not really anything involved there. It's pretty easy.
Or what else?
Yeah. You get some kangaroos, some koalas. Yeah. We're getting what other fruits? What other illegal things?
Yeah, so we'll actually create them and let you download. Oh, that's gangster, bro. Yeah, that's game right there, Tyler. Yeah. Beginner, why is it more FBM profitable now than other times? What are main things that determined FBM versus FBA? Yeah, so the key with FBM is that you can restock it a lot quicker and just like get proof of concept on an item a lot quicker, and you don't have to buy as many, right? Now, FBM isn't as viable other times of the year, but it's very viable right now because there's such a demand spike and a lot of product hasn't had time to check into FBA, right? So you can just sell stuff a lot quicker. In terms of like right now, just FBM everything. In terms of the other like 10 months of the year besides November and December, just look on the listing if other people are getting sales FBM. That's going to be the big thing.
Yeah. Potentially footy. I mean, good thing there's a couple thousand other good brands to sell.
If you're not eligible,
good question.
You're gonna get this a lot. Your offer is not eligible to be featured offered from Amazon. Do I necessarily have to lower my price? Absolutely not. That just means that listing doesn't currently have a buy box, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. Yeah.
Amazon, like, one thing you got to remember is Amazon wants you to make sales and sell things as cheap as possible. You a lot of the things kind of take it with a grain of salt because you obviously want profit. And there was also, I was pulling up a quick example. If you're trying to figure out like what to FBM, which is a great thing to do this time of year, on this listing we were looking at earlier, all you need to do to figure out if you can be the one to just kind of list it, as soon as it shows up, you ship it directly to a customer when it sells. On the buy box analysis panel, it'll show you, like, I just sort by like last one. You can see like just now an FBM seller, 3 hours ago an FBM seller, a little bit of FBA, a lot of FBM. So this is a very healthy, like maybe even more likely to make a sale if you're an FBM seller on this listing. And that's super natural because especially this time of year for the next few weeks, the warehouse is going to be super backed up, and so they're going to prioritize giving sales to FBM sellers because it doesn't take them any work for you to do all the shipping and stuff. Basically,
that's what I'm saying, right? I listened to this podcast with the dad making $13 million a year with RA. How can you do that without discount codes? RA, there's not really discount codes. Like every now and again, there'll be like some crazy weird thing like that. But most RA products, it'll just be you walk into the outlet. It says extra 25%. Use the extra 25%. There's no code needed. It's just automatically applied to checkout, and you're good to go.
Yeah, retail arbitrage is. Are you willing to work hard to go out and drive around and pick stuff up? Online arbitrage is, everyone's sitting on the computer wants to make money online. So what edge can you create? What margin can you create? RA is just what work can you go do?
Yep. How long does it take to get your first sales via FBA? What can I do to get the sales? So it took me 4 days of having a bunch of used books listed from my college and from a retiring teacher from my high school. But you can get sales much quicker FBM these days. All you need to do really is just get a couple FBM listings up that are seeing consistent movement, honestly.
This is what happens when you show up. You got good vibes. You're constantly spending money on good products, asking good questions. What's up, man? You're getting a 10K day by the end of the year. Then I'm confident. I'm confident in it.
My firstborn right there.
What did you mean when you're talking about price sync or selling on December 10th? Yeah, it's just like an estimate, but you'll see it over and over again, especially like we talked about it a little bit earlier, but look on those listings and see if new seller count's already shooting down. Sales rank's already a little bit lower than it was this year, this time last year. There'll be a lot of signs that show that people are gonna like fumble at the goal line basically and lower prices, panic with plenty of holiday demand left. And then it'll only be the smart sellers left for the last like week to 10 days of peak Q4 demand.
If I get 10 items from a different store, I still can get ungated. Not sure in what context you mean that, but yeah, as long as it's a big retailer, it'll work. Right there, stuff's starting to come in. Yeah, that's the key is right now. You gotta make sure, right? Squeeze every dollar, right? Right when stuff comes in, get it listed. Right when stuff sells quick, restock it. If you can get it RA, go do RA. If you can get it via pickup order, go do it a pickup order. Spend time storefront stalking on your best ASINs to find what else is chilling around there too.
Should have bought at least 100 more. I feel that. That's
story of our lives this time here. Yeah, you learn, you innovate.
Yeah, every Christmas we look back and there's at least one product. Yeah. It's like, man, I could have bought 1,000 of that.
Yeah.
This is a good question. How long does it take to get your first sale via FBA? What can you do to get it? Yeah. So for us, we both started with books. So it was really, really easy to just like, if you just want to like test the concept for free, pull out the Amazon seller app, scan a book on the shelf, send it in, right? You could be making a sale on Amazon in the next couple days. As far as like finding name brand stuff, it'll probably take you a day or two to learn it and kind of find those first items. And then if you're trying to get it as fast as possible, then that's where doing this FBM that we're talking about comes into play, right? So you're looking at items that have lots of FBM friendly buy box rotation, where you can buy it, shows up to your house the same day you make a sale. So there's no reason why you can't make a sale in the next couple of days, basically.
Oh yeah, right there. Hey guys, I got a question on my FBA bank account. States invalid charge method, but I call my bank, which is Truist, and they state there isn't any holds against Amazon. It's just that your credit or your card doesn't have like the amount of credit available, I think, is what it means in that capacity, Julian. But Julian, give Amazon seller support a call with that too. They're interestingly enough pretty helpful with scenarios like that.
Yeah, if it's like oddly specific stuff, it can be pretty helpful.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll be on a couple more minutes, y'all, for this week's SellerAmp Seller. We did it on Black Friday and Cyber Monday too. Typically, it's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, right? And make sure if you guys haven't already, check out the SellerAmp Black Friday sale. It ends tonight. It's the only sale of the entire year. You can upgrade to our annual plans to get 12 months for the price of 9. Yes, you can lock in some pretty good savings, about 25% off what you would pay if you were to pay monthly right there. So you can just lock in nice little tax write-off right there and save some money at the same time too. See if it goes back on sale. I didn't spend much yesterday because my mom came home back. Okay, got you. So mom left and now we're good to go. Oh, got you. Okay.
We're back to generating wealth.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Hey, so, yeah. See, we love when the mom comes over, right? But sometimes she might get in the way of the wealth generating. We still love her
though. Let's see. Somebody was asking, what sites can you buy wholesale from? Yeah. So CJ, start locally. Also, like you're asking, like no EIN. You gotta be a real business to do wholesale. You probably have have the email, have the website, that kind of thing to get into wholesale. But just start locally. Just like brand you want to sell, distributor, your city, and Google that. Then your state, right? It's like all that kind of thing.
New to the space. Can you explain how to get ungated for the bigger brands? Yeah. So really all you got to do is just buy 10 plus of a product also listed on Amazon in at least one order. So it could be one order of 10 orders of one, obviously, ideally one order of 10 plus. Then you get that email immediately. And then you go ahead and download that order confirmation email as a PDF and name it brand _ invoice _ date, ASIN _ invoice _ date. And then that's what you submit to Amazon as your invoice. They typically decline a couple times. That's completely normal. Keep submitting, add in more purchase details, and really just overwhelm them with info that shows, okay, this person's clearly buying legit stuff, and they'll go ahead and approve you. It's really weird the first couple of times you do it because you don't know how many tries it'll take, but we're telling you guys it will work, for example. So you just kind of got to do yourself to see it play out once or twice right there, and then you'll be good to go.
Yep. Turn into a recycling box.
Oh, yeah, bro, you're recycling the bread too, though, as well. Like you're just cycling bread right there. Cool. All right, appreciate everyone tapping in here. Do want to remind you guys one last time before we hop off. Only SellerAmp sale the entire year is going right now. Check the link in the description if you do want to go ahead and take advantage of that right there. We'll drop links at selleramp.com /Black-Friday or Black-Friday-special / right there. So check that out if you guys are interested. Appreciate you. Hey, DH, we got you guys. Luca, we got you guys. We're going live all the time. We want to help.
I saw that box wall today. I saw that box wall.
Sweet. Was that on the timeline?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, what's up? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Y'all be great. Have a great one, everyone.
Adios. Y'all have a good one.